The featured company is a paid client of Proactive Group Holdings, and this recording is disseminated by Proactive on its behalf.
I would expect quite strong volatility in the upcoming months. It's obviously always pretty tough to say which direction, but I think there's a lot of factors that are playing towards increased volatility. Central banks are starting to cool down the interest rate cuts, and some are predicted to increase rates.
All right, welcome back inside our Proactive newsroom. And joining me now is Matteo Greco. He is a senior associate with Fineqia International. And Matteo, it's good to see you again. How are you?
I'm good, Steve. Thank you for having me. And how are you? You doing well?
I'm doing very well, and was interested to read your May crypto ETP report and just talked a little bit about what you're seeing in the markets. And let's talk about that first, the financial markets themselves and where crypto is based. What are you seeing in the markets, Matteo?
Generally speaking, in the past few months, we've seen definitely strongly different behavior between the crypto market and the traditional financial market. It's in a way, it's not a surprise in terms of the intensity. We're used to seeing the crypto market being much more volatile, both in uptrend and downtrend. But the last few months have been quite surprisingly in a way that, the S&P 500, the Nasdaq, many TradFi indexes have reached new all-time highs, while the crypto market has been mainly in a negative price action from Q4 till now. So that's definitely an interesting play, something a bit different from what we've been used to seeing in the last 2-3 years, especially after the US spot ETFs approval that brought a lot of institutional into the crypto market. And it's definitely a trend that I'm still observing, trying to understand better where things will move next.
Are there any things that lead you into a direction of why it's happening? Are there certain signs that you're specifically looking at or that you've seen already that would sort of explain it? Because it is a little odd.
I think there's a big part in the stocks market related to AI, because it's true that a lot of indexes are printing new highs, but at the same time, if you look at the S&P 500, for example, just a small bunch of companies are actually just dragging up the whole index. So that's definitely something that it's creating a big diversion between the two markets, because most of the stock companies, I would say, are also going in a downwards price trajectory in the recent time, but the AI subsector is just breaking, let's say, every correlation between the two markets. So it's going to be important to observe what happens in that small subsector, and if that cools down, then we'll have to check what the impact can be on the stock indexes.
Yeah. Overall, your last report in April showed some strong gains and May kind of corrected just a bit. So, what are you seeing from month to month?
Definitely, April was a pretty positive month, especially following a pretty weak Q1. May has been mainly in a neutral trajectory compared to the price movements. So if we look at Bitcoin ETPs compared versus the Bitcoin price, we see that the drop is pretty much identical. So there's no positive flows, but also the outflows are pretty limited. Ethereum has showed a little bit of a weaker performance, both on the price side, but also on the flows side. And it's something that has been quite recurrent in 2026. Ethereum ETPs had a lot of flows in 2025, but 2026 so far, Ethereum has been pretty weak, both on the price side and on the flow side. And I would say something interesting is that the altcoin sector performed pretty well in the past couple of months, and especially in May. So we noticed that sort of a small alt season, which is a bit unusual considering the whole market trend and how normally alts performs in this environment. So that's also been something a bit out of the ordinary, I would say.
Yeah. Just as we wrap up here, Matteo, just give me some thoughts about as the months roll on. It's you mentioned there's a lot of indicators and factors that you're looking at. So do you sense volatility continues, or do you see some potential where we might sort of start to stabilize in the months to come?
I would expect quite strong volatility in the upcoming months. It's obviously always pretty tough to say which direction, but I think there's a lot of factors that are playing towards increased volatility. Central banks are starting to cool down the interest rate cuts, and some are predicted to increase rates. Even like the Fed is now, there's like a 40% chance of a 25 basis points increase before the end of the year. The oil price is still pretty high and has been at unsustainable levels for about 3 months now. And if things keep going this way, for sure, the impact on the global economy is going to be much higher than what we've seen so far. We have the AI stock to observe in the upcoming weeks. So I think there's a lot of factors then one way or another, depending how things unfold and resolve, can bring a lot of volatility. So we just need to stay at the window, keep checking all the indicators and see how things move.
Yeah, we haven't even got into the geopolitical part of this as well. So it's there's a lot of things to keep an eye on, right?
Yeah. Definitely a lot of factors involved.
Yeah, absolutely. Matteo, thanks so much. Really good update as always, and good to see you again.
Likewise. Thank you very much, Steve.
All right, there's Matteo Greco, Senior Associate for Fineqia International.
The featured company is a paid client of Proactive Group Holdings, and this recording is disseminated by Proactive on its behalf. It is for informational purposes only and does not constitute investment advice, an offer, or a solicitation to buy or sell any securities. Viewers should conduct their own research and consult a qualified financial advisor before making investment decisions. The views expressed are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect those of Proactive Group Holdings, trading as Proactive Investors or its affiliates. No responsibility is accepted for any loss arising from reliance on the information presented.